Hello, Pauper fans. This is Mathonical. You're joining me for round 5 with Slivers. Opening hand is a perfectly reasonable keep. The Slivers Sanctuary might slow us down a little bit, but it does guarantee us to get to the 3 mana we want for the Lead the Stampede. And if we draw an untapped mana source, we're going to be golden because we'll be able to start hitting our 2 drops on turn 2. Opponent looks like they are on Stompy. That is fine. Starting with Vault Scourge means it might be a bit more difficult, especially with the Rancor on it, to try and race them, but we will do the best we can. We at least have the way of blocking it with the Spinneret Sliver. I'm going to play it down now just to disincentivize like this other Vault Scourge from attacking us. And we're basically just going to take our beats this turn. I don't want to trade off any of our Slivers, especially with so many Sliver Lords in hand. So we're going to start playing those down to at least slow down my opponent's attacks. We're basically going to be taking 4 this turn, and I was surprised he didn't decide to get in with a bit more damage. But now we have the opportunity to play double Lord, and this is going to allow us to start attacking right away. If he was to go for some multi-block, we do have the mutagenic growth to get around that, so we're not at a risk of losing any of our creatures. And that was the one thing I was kind of concerned that they may do. And the problem with it is they could have Howl the Hunger Pack, which would then basically start closing out the game a bit quicker. Because creatures would die in that case. They could also have Vines of the Vastwood, which may cause us to lose some creatures, but if they're using Vines to try and win a combat, that's fine by me as well. It means we're not going to be taking more damage next turn. So I just kind of get in there. Turns out there's no blocks, so wasn't really much for me to be worried about. And now I'm just going to be like, here I'm a little concerned that my opponent might just do an all-in swing. We'd be able to block like the Vault Scourge and one of the 2 drops, but they'd be able to get in 4 damage. And then they'd be able to move the Rancor over to one of the Ledgewalkers and basically win next turn. So that's what I'm a bit scared of, but we would have lethal on the way back in that case, so it depends on what my opponent has at hand. Just those 2 swinging, so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I kill this Vault Scourge with a double block. Rancor onto the Vault Scourge, I guess he just wants to use it to gain a bit more life on the swing back. Don't know if you noticed that, but I cast Lead the Stampede and we got 0 hits. That is an extremely unlikely event. And, well, you know, sometimes luck doesn't go our way, but our board presence is still really good, and these double mutagenic growths means we may win if my opponent doesn't make the correct blocks. Here he goes for a triple block, but we're just going to cast one of the mutagenic growths. Not going to use our life total because we are a bit low. But once again, I'm really surprised that he's not using his Vault Scourge to block. I feel like that would buy him more time. And we're not in danger of dying this turn, so yeah, we're just going to take our 1. That's fine by me. And here we're just going to start getting in with all of the damages. If he blocks incorrectly, this mutagenic growth will win the game. He does throw everything in front, so we just get in for a little bit of damage. That's fine. On the backswing, we're just going to be taking 5, but my opponent doesn't have anything beyond that, so we do end up winning the game. I guess in hindsight it looked a little bit, I felt it was a little bit risky. If he had an additional pump spell to go with the Rancor, we would have lost. So I think it might have been best to keep back 1 creature just to block the Young Wolf when it flipped back over. But I did, yeah, the line we picked ended up working out, but I don't think it was the most correct line, just as a note for the future. So we're going to jump on over to game 2 and take a look at the sideboard. I want the Coalition Honor Guards to just turn off all their target effects. And I also want the Prismatic Strands. That is one of my favorite cards to pull in against Stompy always. I don't really want the Gut Shots because I don't want to be paying life just to poke down one of the odd creatures here and there. They do have Vault Scourges, but I don't think it's quite good enough to bring it in just for that. And I'm going to pull out a couple Sidewinders and 1 Sentinel. Because I did see the Vault Scourges, I decided to leave in the Spinnerets, but I think I was kind of torn between taking out 2 Sidewinders or 1 Sidewinder and 1 Spinneret, but this is the sideboarding I did here. I also took out 2 mutagenic growths, even though it is pretty good for trying to force like huge blocks. I don't want to be pulling out too many creatures. We've got to make sure that our Lead the Stampede is online as possible, especially seeing as we did completely whiff in the last one. We're just going to take a look at our opening hand. And this hand is amazing. Double Prismatic Strands means we're basically able to completely fog any kind of board state. And we do have one drop. and we're very likely to draw into more creatures since we've got at least 29 left in the deck. So yeah, let's run with it. And we'll have our 2 Mutagenic Growths for that surprise factor. More lands is not where we want to be, but we're just gonna roll with it. Going for an Epic Confrontation. Oh, that Mutagenic Growth certainly came in handy there. Nice little 2-for-1 for free. Lead the Stampede does give us something to do with all of our mana later on, and we're just going to cycle this Ash Barrens just to thin out our deck a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and attack here, just to see, basically I wanted to trade in the Prismatic Strands for killing his creature. When he didn't do that, I'm just going to play a Sentinel Sliver. Bone Splinter, it looks like he's a little stuck on lands, and is probably regretting playing the Epic Confrontation, losing the Korean Ranger on the previous turn. I'm just going to take this opportunity to start getting a 5-sliver Lead the Stampede. So much so that we're going to have to discard, but that's fine. We can discard our Prismatic Strands, which is now online. Now that we get to basically cast all of the slivers we just got off that one very good Lead the Stampede, turning all of our mana into good use. And yeah, that's the variance of Lead the Stampede, as I'm finding out. Sometimes you get nothing, sometimes you get everything, and it looks amazing. So we're just going to play out 3 2-cost slivers, and we're just going to jam. That looks like a really good board state, and that does win us the game. So all in all, we did manage to go a nice 4-1 in this league. I hope you have enjoyed watching Slivers in action. I know it's a bit of a linear deck, but I thought it might be nice just to see what Lead the Stampede would look like in there. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did. And I will see you guys in my next videos. Have a good one.